What's Glen Ellyn doing in Lombard?
This is Glen Ellyn technically.
Technically.
Yeah, so the way the Lombard system works is Glen Ellyn, so JT's Porch is the DuPage County Sheriff's Department. That's their jurisdiction. Lombard Toyota is obviously Lombard. This section right here, this is the Glen Ellyn's jurisdiction. So this is Glen Ellyn's part of Roosevelt Road. We have the westbound lanes here all the way down to Finley.
That's a pretty awesome answer.
Yeah, so that's hybrid.
So you're basically telling me you're on the teetering point of Glen Ellyn, is what you're telling me.
It also gets a little bit weird with the jurisdiction slightly, because under 355, there's an arrangement that Lombard covers that area. It's an arrangement between the cities, so it's some very strange gerrymandering that's been going on.
Yeah,
along
gerrymandering is the perfect word. Wow, are you college educated?
I am, sir.
I can tell. See, I went to COD and I can tell right away. Someone who says the word gerrymandering and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I know what you're talking about.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, there's some strange. It's obviously just jurisdictions. However, the cities work that out. That's
Awesome.
kind of how it goes through here. So yeah, this is obviously just.
I'm in Downers Grove and I live next to Darien. I actually looked up Darien and it's like a bunch of squiggly lines. Looks like a transformer. So yeah, there's like areas where it's like, what the hell? But I guess it's for voting reasons. I guess they want certain people to vote for them and all that kinds of stuff.
It's what parts of towns get incorporated and stuff like that. Because obviously the unincorporated aspects, if they get annexed by the villages, then it slightly changes the borders depending on which houses do it.
Yeah,
every border has some.
I know in Chicago, everyone knows about the city, and that's a lot. It happens a lot more out there. So that's how I know a little. It kind of doesn't happen as much out here, maybe since like the 90s or something like that. But anyway,
I think there's just much less out here. Things are a little bit more defined now that those unincorporated areas are slowly becoming smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So there's a lot less for villages to annex.
I'm almost 50, so when I was a kid and in my teens, there was like unincorporated this, unincorporated that. Yeah, you don't really hear that word anymore. That's where we used to party.
Yeah.
When you found a place to go and it was unincorporated, you'd be like, hell yeah, we're gonna fucking party there. I think the state cops have to come out for that or something. I don't think you guys can even do anything with it.
DuPage County Sheriffs generally handle.
Yeah, because they used to come break up our parties and try and hit on our chicks. I remember.
It's a whole thing. It's an interesting, but obviously.
So JT's Porch. I'm not a drinker. I was never, but I have frequented here a couple times.
Okay.
I hear there's a lot of people getting pulled over from here. I only know of 2 people. I actually got pulled over right here, literally right here, in 1996. So that's my only DUI. But I've heard there's people that leave here who get a little uncomfortable. Obviously, like, let's say like there's a bunch of, let's hypothetically say there's a bunch of gangbangers sitting out in front of my store and they're playing I don't know, they're just gangbanging. You know, they don't really want like people outside their establishment. It's not illegal, right? Because it's free. They can free them as long as they're not breaking the law. But they kind of don't really like gangbangers sitting by their place. So, you know, I've been watching cops. I've known, you know, I'm not even going to get into it, but I've been cop watching for over 10 years, and I know how you guys work. And I'm starting to be a little disturbed on how you guys will radio. Like say you're sitting here and you see a guy leaving, and then you'll radio down to your buddy and you say, hey, get that guy. I'm noticing a lot of that. I have a lot of that on video.
Okay.
I'll be like, let's say I'm watching a cop right here in the middle and a car goes by him and a cop immediately gets him and got him for a DUI. Well, how did he know? You know, he just drove right by him. Well, you guys, it's kind of like a syndicate, which I don't really like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't want drunk people, and I don't want to get hit by a car. I don't want my mom to get hit by a car and all that kinds of stuff.
Obviously, it's a two-way street because as a police officer, it's my job to make sure that people are getting home safe.
No. I gotta stop you right there. It's not your job, all right? You have civil duties, all right? We grant you civil duties. Technically, it is not your job, and it's not your job to keep us safe. There's been case law on that already. Reason being, because you are liable, we can sue you. So you cannot be in charge of our safety.
Right,
okay, so
my responsibility, part of my job, is to enforce.
If you gotta go, I don't want to hold you up.
No, not at all, sir. I'm more than happy to talk to you.
Only cop I know out here is Rodriguez, and a female.
Officer Rodriguez.
Yeah, I know a couple, but I'm getting. Anyway.
I'm more than happy to talk to you if you have questions, and obviously you seem like a smart individual yourself, and totally fine to answer some questions. Like I said, obviously you've mentioned a small involvement that officers don't have the obligation to keep people safe. However, I like to think of myself. I know people who've been killed by drunk drivers. My squad car has been rear-ended by a drunk driver when I've been on the traffic stop. For me personally, it's something about if I can take a drunk driver off the street, obviously that's someone that has made a poor choice.
All right.
But at that point, I potentially am saving yourself.
The morality of it isn't, but you guys aren't the morality police, and you guys definitely do not, you know, include morals in a lot of your policing. You personally, but I've experienced, that's why I'm out here, is because morality is not what you guys, it's not in your culture.
If you've had bad experience.
Oh God, I've had plenty recently, in the past recently. I don't even think you want to go into that. I can, before I leave, I can give you my channel, and then you can go into it. You can find out a lot more about me.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you've had a bad experience.
Oh God, yeah, Jesus Christ.
And that happens.
I grew up in the 90s, all right? So, well, that officer who pulled me over right here was because I was with a black guy leaving Enchanted Castle with a white girl, and he wanted to make an example of me to the white girl's mom and make sure that she knew that she was with a Hispanic and a black guy. And he said that we were smoking weed, but he was smoking what are Black and Milds? You know what those are? They're like different cigars, right? And he basically used that as probable cause as marijuana, and he went and searched me, blah blah blah. Just want to get back on the DUI thing. Yeah, I don't want drunk people out here, but you know what? It's legal, and they have bars everywhere. You can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere where I see a sign. I can't go home while I'm watching a football game when I see a beer commercial. So
obviously it's legal to consume alcohol and then drive. You just have to be under the state mandated legal limit.
Right. We all know that 0.08. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's like a beer. That's like a beer and a half, maybe 2 beers. So then we all know.
It depends on how fast you process that liquor and how long you drink it.
Right.
And the strength of your liquor.
Here's my thing. Here's what I want to leave you with. I want a whole new renaissance of the whole fucking system. All right. This one doesn't work. It doesn't work for us with no cash bail thing going on too. That just started like a year or so ago. That's a kind of direction I think that we're kind of starting to go. My opinion is, especially with ride share driving, is now like when I was a kid. I wish I would have had that.
Of course, yeah.
It's better than calling a cab. It is not as expensive as cabs were, so they're pretty actually affordable. So what I'm saying is, I think we need to get people home. What'd you say? I want to get people home safe. Well, you know, you can get people home safe is take them home. I know that sounds a little weird and maybe like a liberal stance on some things, but if you really want to get them home, get them safe. If they are swerving and all fucked up and all that kind of stuff, yeah, okay, that put them in the hooskow. But as far as like, you know, an old lady or people celebrating their anniversary at a banquet, or people at JT's Porch watching a college football game, Texas A&M and Texas tonight, a huge game, and you know, but I get it. You know, I don't want people that have had 8 or 9 Crown Royals and a bunch of beers and they're, you know, leaving and can't find their keys, and yeah, okay, that.
Well, I think we can both.
But
agree
here's what I want to say though. But people are so scared of you that, you know, they don't think, or you know, when they're drunk or whatever, but the fear of you guys, you know, especially poor people, rich people, they can pay a $5,000 lawyer and they can go through it a lot easier. The people that staying in these apartments paying $1,250, $1,750 for, you know, a month, that, you know, that $5,000 lawyer and court fees and all that. So I need, before I leave this earth, to have a change. I don't want the same shit, the same routine, chasing people, DUIs, put them in. You know, I go to court once in a while, unfortunately, and all I see is all these courtrooms and all these lines and all these people giving money. It's basically what it all comes down to. Yeah, you might have court supervision and, you know, all these stupid things, but all it comes down to is money. And I grew up out here, and DuPage County is known for money, more so, you know, Lake County's got some money, Cook County, but DuPage County is known for money. You got Oak Brook, Burr Ridge, Wheaton has got some serious money out here, man. So I want a renaissance, I want to change, and I want you younger guys to start realizing that we don't want those older fucks that beat the shit out of people and then ask questions second, you know? We don't want...
As someone who's on the inside of policing, I think that's the direction that needs to be going. Obviously,
I don't think so.
I would like to make a comment. I can only comment solely on the Ellyn Police Department because
How long?
Unfortunately, I've been on the Glen Police Department for about 4.5 years.
That's not too long.
So I can't comment on any other police departments because I don't know.
True. Okay. Yeah.
I don't
They always say that. I always hear that.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, Ray, I wasn't around in 1990 or 2000. This is all, I can only speak for myself. But
I just don't feel comfortable making an assumption or a judgment based off of things.
But I can throw at you as police as a whole, you know, like the whole nationwide police. How do you feel? But I'm not really going to start that because I don't really want to open that up because
I think you have an admirable
you guys aren't really not a lot of stocks invested in you guys right now. We don't have a lot of we never really trusted you, but now it's just like it's a complete divide. Like it's a complete divide. And yeah, there's the back to blue people, but most of them are related to you, or you're the uncle or somebody, or someone did work on your car, so then you go easy on them. Like I've known so many people that have gotten breaks from cops, females and males, because they did something for them. That wasn't me. I never got a break from a cop, and every time I got pulled over, every time didn't work out too well for me. So
like I said, I'm sorry that you've had bad experiences in the past. Obviously, I think that the way that to get to the reform you want to is having this rhetoric and this conversation like we're having right
exactly.
now.
But you know
Obviously,
what?
we come from different walks of life. We're different ages, we have different experiences, and that's different. But having these conversations is how we can kind of sit down and kind of have this change, and a positive change, whether that be for you, for me as a police officer, and everything along.
It's true. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm out here. I'm not out here because I'm getting paid right now. I'm sitting in 10-degree weather, and I'm not, I'm doing my own thing. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's not happening. That's why I'm out here. 2 days ago, I just had an officer assault me, grab me, and what do you do? One of these big steroid meatheads that they're very. I hate to be stereotypical, but there's a stereotype of these bald, fat / steroid, wear one shirt smaller size to look bigger. And they get that badge and they start a little waddle, they get a little tough. And, I think some of those, either they've been on the job too long and they got to ride out, or the job was never meant for them. Like they're just, maybe they were a fucking football player in high school. They thought they were bullying, and they were tough. And then they came out here and then, holy shit, those are the ones.
It's not a job for everyone, that's for sure. And
yeah.
Unfortunately, as like there are in every career, there's bad apples that make bad names in a lot of things.
But the bad apples spoil the whole bunch.
Correct.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the way of policing, is that the bad apples in this case are getting crimes.
So when that bad apple's doing something, that's when our conversation that's happening right now needs to take place. When you say, wow, okay, I remember that dude was saying we need to stop this shit. Meaning, if that egocentric male cop is fucking with some black people and doing some shit that he shouldn't, and profiling, and there's a time when you have to be like, all right, man, let's get, I'm not gonna I will back you.
That's where duty to intercede comes into.
Right. And you guys are civilly liable for that. If one person does something and you don't do something about that cop, you can be civilly liable for that. People don't do it because they don't know it and they're scared of you. That goes back to this, everyone's scared of you. But people are waking up. It's not a woke thing. It's not people are just learning their rights and learning some shit, and we're tired of you guys a little bit. But again, I have a lot of respect for you. I have quite a few officers. I have 2 in my family, but I'm quite a few fond of a few officers now. So, which is one of the reasons I needed to do this, because I was one of those like, fuck cops, fuck them all, fuck all of them. And then now I'm like, okay, now I know there's some good ones out there. It's like take a sigh of relief, like, okay, all right. So.
Unfortunately, just the way there needs to be a different perspective where there needs to be some rhetoric with the good.
And then it got political because fucking Trump. I'm not gonna start that, but it definitely got political with,
Everything in our world is political
today. It wasn't as political when I was a kid. With George Bush, it was like, yeah, he's an idiot, but okay, Clinton's an idiot, but okay. But now it's like, you say Trump's an idiot or Harris, and people want to fucking fight you, or be like, burn your fucking house down or something, man. So,
unfortunately, we're getting to a point in the world where we aren't respectful and tolerant of other people's opinions. Because obviously, you and I may disagree on certain things. However, that doesn't mean we can't have a civil discourse about those issues. And you never know, because having a conversation with someone and getting their perspective on things could change your opinion on
It
something.
could, but holy shit, and then this is just my 48 years being on this planet. It is a 75% people that can't have that conversation. It's rare when you find someone that can. That's why when you have a friend that, you keep that friend, or you've been friends 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, most people know it's, how many people lost friendships with the last, political elections, and they, hey, don't call me no more, fuck you don't like abortions, or you don't, holy shit. So we're at extreme divide right now, and I don't know, I just feel like I can't just sit at home. I cannot just sit at home and just hope everything's going on okay out there, I just can't do that anymore. Maybe I just got old or something, so.
I understand. But this is where I got to leave you, my friend.
All right.
I'm just going to give you a handshake.
All right, what's your name?
Officer Wilke.
Wilke?
Yep, 146.
4 years, all right, my man.
But, all right, my man, you have a good night.
I will see you again.